So if you can see here, there are altogether 17 Sustainability Development Goal, or we call it as SDG. And however, in the context of our discussion for today, we are going to focus on two SDG, which is the first one is SDG 4. We can highlight number 4, where it is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, as well as promote lifelong learning opportunity for all. The second SDG that we will be focusing in my presentation is SDG 16. All right, so maybe if we want to highlight on SDG 16, basically we want to create an institution that can promote peaceful and inclusive society. For this part, right, so we want to integrate lifelong learning through massive open online courses. And then right now, the current trending way of having online CPD is to have micro courses. Now we go to the second reason, or the second way of doing this. We want to promote the interdisciplinary studies. In my opinion and based from my research, I think this is very important if you want to, align with the current market, with the global market of, jobs, opportunity, as well as we want to have a socio-economic mobility. As I mentioned just now, it is also to support trans-institutional research and collaboration. Because nowadays, it's not about just, for example, my institution is going to conduct the lesson and we are the sole provider. Nowadays, it's about maybe collaboration. For example, like ClassIn right now, you are collaborating with many institutions in order to get knowledge sharing. And this is something that is widely promoted in, the global ventures as well as the institution worldwide. Let's move on to the third way of doing this, is to incorporate stakeholders and market needs. We want to have workers who can continue to upskill and reskill themselves. So in order for us to create and to fill in this void or the gap that the market needs, with the learners that we are going to provide or create, we have to make sure that our courses is in line with what the market or the job specs require. So we are using Improve as our online learning platform to empower continuous professional development. So far, we have 194 micro courses altogether. And so far, what ELTC have been doing, we are not just providing training and online CPD to Malaysian teachers. We are also training ELT professionals from various countries. As you can see from the top right there, these are the countries that we have been training so far. Okay, you can see we have from Maldives, we also have from Philippines, we even have some from Kazakhstan. Okay, so these are the countries that we have been training because we felt that learning it shouldn't be, segregated to just, within your geographical parameters. Okay, so when we click at education, the role, how we can create a sustainable education ecosystem via education is to provide equal access to lifelong learning. This is actually one of the SDG 4 goal, which is to provide equal access to primary education, to secondary education, even vocational, as well as lifelong learning. And apart from that, we want to provide education for sustainable development and global citizenship, meaning that everybody can learn everywhere, anywhere. And this is the concept of buffet learning.
We look at sustainability. Sustainability is somewhat of a hype word today, don't you think? Everyone is using it, and it kind of covers every single industry. And today, of course, our focus is going to be on education. So I want to leave you all with a statement, right? A better world is everyone's business, don't you think? It's everyone's business. And what is a better way to actually create a better world than from education? All right, teachers, educators. All right. So if we want to create a world that is sustainable, we need to think about what is the end in mind. We need to think about the world that we want to create, right? What is the world that we want to see? So when I look at sustainability in education, this is the view that I see. Okay, a sustainable education view for me is this vision. What is the vision of a particular organization that you work with, right? When you look at their vision, because the big picture of the vision will actually carry through to every single part of the organization. And that's very important in achieving sustainability. You need to have that big picture, and it has to come from the top, and the follow through has to go to the very bottom. And organization structure and operations are very, very crucial. Why do I say this? When we talk about sustainability, often we are only focused on doing events, teaching, but beyond that, it should come within our own organization. That's also important, right? When it comes to culture, what is the in the grapevine, what is it that people are hearing? Is sustainability something that is always discussed? Is something that is used within every single processes that we do? If the culture is there, then it's easier for us to embody it, because it's not something that you have to do, but it's something that is within us. If we go into curriculum design, we want to, when I said end in mind, right? When we create courses, we need to input things like, what kind of leader do you want to be in those courses? We need to think about that when we're creating the courses. We need to think about, okay, how are we going to create, we talk about a better world is everyone's business, right? So business for good. So when we teach business administrative students, for example, it's not just doing business for the sake of selling a product, like I sell this mineral bottle, right? But how can I do good, right? Every business, if you look back at the very beginning of business, started for a purpose. What's the purpose? Of providing service to people. And sometimes in this world, we've forgotten about that. We focus on the product. We forget about why we were doing it, to create, to produce, to help someone with something that they did not have, they needed. No, I'm not going to go too deep in. Dr. No talked about partnerships, right? How important they are. Because we are living in a global world. Let's not kid ourselves. Even our audience here is global. We need to think about how to work within the infrastructures that we have. What can we learn from people in different countries, right? What have they used? What has worked for them? We don't have to redo everything. We can learn from others if we're humble enough to do so. And accessibility. What is the point of having all these amazing courses online, all these amazing tools, but people can't access them, okay? Or people don't understand them, okay? And if we look at how professional development have advanced sustainability, it has helped us with upskilling. Anyone, anywhere, anytime. I think one of the most important things in sustainable education, that should be like the core goal, upward mobility, right? In creating quality education, the whole point of it all is to change people's lives. You don't have to change hundreds of people's lives, just one person. And that one person will create a domino effect to change other people's lives.
For example, if you are teaching younger learners, one of the, I think, concern is how to retain their focus when they are teaching, especially when you're managing, really active students. I think Cheryl is smiling because right? So in this sense, as a teacher, we can find maybe certain courses where we can apply, for example, how we can do project-based learning or even social enterprising, even for primary school students.
Anyone who sits in my class knows Miss Cheryl's class or Miss C's class, you have to open the camera. When you're in my class, it's understood. I don't even have to discuss it with them. They know. They come into my class, they open the camera. So the moment they open the camera, it makes it easy for me as an educator, but you can't do that midway. Say you've been teaching for 6 months and then suddenly you say, I want to open the camera. Or after 3 months, you imagine, Dr. No, you're teaching a class that out of a sudden you tell them to do that. It's not aligned with the culture that you've set for them already. So they can't accept that. So from the very beginning, so if you haven't already started it, if you're teaching in a classroom, for example, then you start with that. Or if you're starting your own show, you start with that. So you set the stage. This is how my culture is. And then you try to get them used to it, and then it becomes habitual, right? How do you understand? And you might not have so much of time to do that. Maybe just take a minute. In 1 minute, guys, share with me what you think, one word in the chat box. So you can come up with simple ways to gauge their learning needs. Just simple, small measures, right? And try like I said, try to make activities that engage with them. Like when I did a stress management workshop with the students, right? They're like, "Oh, you're going to talk about stress, okay? Learn how to manage stress, like so easy." I didn't talk to them about, okay, there are 3 strategies of stress management. A, B. Students that I teach, 19 years old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, they fall asleep when you do that. Even though you're teaching something valuable, they fall asleep. So you know what I did? I took balloons. And this is in an online class. Before class, I told the students, guys, bring balloons.
Before we can create, passionate learners, we have to be passionate trainers or passionate teachers ourselves. And I think one of the thing that I could share is we must be able to set a boundaries.
Schedule everything in life. Do you schedule time for yourself? We all need to do that. In your schedule on a daily basis, take, even if it's 5 minutes daily, just for you alone.